Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Russian custom. Today we're having a look at a game played on the North American server, and it is going to be Shen Jungle. Now, I've tried this a little bit in the recent days, and I want to point a couple of things out. So, number one, there are different choices here in the runes. You can go Ultimate Hunter. LS made a video about it. LS is recommending Relentless Hunter and Cheap Shot instead of this. Everything else stays the same, so this is maybe something to consider. And we're gonna do a little bit of an overview of what exactly the build is, what exactly is happening with it, and we will figure out the strength, the weakness of this build, and generally give an overview of why I think this is actually pretty nice build. So, number one, as we look at the items here, we will see that these are not your typical Shen items. However, this build specifically is engineered to have a certain gameplay. And, usually Shen has a different game plan that is more 1v1 oriented, kind of playing the side lane, and has to. Okay, healthy behavior. That has the ability to kind of 1v1 and, win the side lane. Because, well, the better you are at pushing, generally, the more useful Shen ultimate is, because that later on then can pinch the enemy into either, answering the Shen and then losing. Also, you see a lot of Shen players go Ignite because of that, because you don't really need the TP. But, of course, at that point, then enemy team has a little bit more counterplay again. So, why are we picking Shen Jungle? One of the things is Viego is ridiculously strong, and Shen is really good into Viego. So here, he's going to take a leash. Not necessarily needed. Also, let me see. Let's see. So, he's pulling the Q. Yeah, he's pulling the Q at a good timing here. This is before the camp spawns. I usually pull it 5 seconds-ish before the camp spawns. That way you get all the 3 auto attacks off. And then you kill the red buff. You kind of move towards, as you can see here, you move towards the next objective, which is going to be the Krugs. And the plan here is to full clear. So one thing that immediately strikes out as a bit of a weakness is that the game plan is very identifiable. Shen will be pretty much perma farming until he gets his ultimate and try to, well, get there then. And use his ultimate and continue farming through it. So that's kind of the idea, right? Works really well with hyper carries. Works not as well with the Yasuo support. But it is what it is. Guy has P-Zeng in his name, so, probably just a Yasuo main. That is a one trick from, I think, the Chinese server. Although I've seen a lot of his replays on Korea, so he's definitely playing on Korea. But then again, right, Chinese people do that, so not entirely sure. And yeah, pretty much the only thing that you need to know about Shen is that you can kind of activate your Q before the camp spawns. That's kind of all you need to figure out the clear. Everything else is, well, kind of self-explanatory. It's not the most efficient clear, but he is on really good tempo. So he's doing fine for himself. And he is going to be able to hit level 4 here. He's using the smite, which means he's not going to have it for the objective. However, I don't really think that Viego can fight him here. Hell of Blades is one hell of a drug. It's very strong. And we will be showing up to the Scuttle Crab on time. So here, the Scuttle Crab is there. Just spawned, and he's perfectly curving into it. He's gonna kill the Scuttler, and yeah, this is kind of the fishy part where Viego could have slid in and gotten it. So here we're going to probably just place a ward, check, and recall, I would presume. As we are trying to hit level 6 as quickly as possible. Okay, that is the flash forward here. under the tower, and that is a beautiful kill onto the Talia. And we're gonna leave now. Viego is on the bot side. We know that because the Scuttle Crab was not contested. So now we want to be back to get our camp here. Bot side camp, also very important. You don't need to regenerate your HP to full, as of course we are capable of regenning out of very low HP in the bot lane and don't have mana, so you generally don't need to spend any time in base. You can just go, and 2 camps will put you up to a, well, comfortable HP advantage again. And you can see here we're focused on clearing as quickly as possible. This allows us some time to, you know, gank maybe, or to just rush level 6 as quickly as possible. So here we are just perma fist fighting, which means there's at least 1 kill here for the Shen. We'll look for a second one, doesn't get it. Okay, so we're shoving in here, helping the Jhin kind of push this one out, very important. And interesting. Yeah, so here we can definitely think about even soloing the dragon. It's a bit of a risky one, but with Viego showing up on top side here on the ward, it's definitely something you can consider. Most likely the Pyke will have a gander over there though. As of course, nope, he is not. Yeah, we definitely could have gone for the dragon here. Early dragon is really good. As Viego does show up here. That will be the capture onto the way. Not a good capture by him. That is definitely not what you want to do. Yeah, and he will go down. Beautiful reaction here by the Shen. Yeah, so this, of course, needless to say, wouldn't have been possible. And I believe that we don't need to push this in at all. Like, we could have just let Yasuo do this. Moved on to different objectives. What exactly are we doing? I don't like this. So you want to be very how do I put it? You want to be very quick on this build. It's all about quickly clearing, getting to that point. I'm expecting a deep ward here out of the Pyke somewhere in our jungle. And you really want to watch the lanes on this build, so use your F keys, pan over if you prefer to do it that way. I'm not gonna sit here lecture you on what you should do, but F keys are pretty efficient. Yeah, we're gonna take the grub here, the grump here. It's gonna put us at level 6. Level 6 is a huge power spike, needless to say. As Viego will be looking for mid lane here. The Shen on the way ping. Shen will be capable to respond to this, but if we can be there in person, we don't need to be there with the ultimate, so that leaves the ultimate for another gank. Yeah, I think this was just wasted time. We could have gone to one of the biggest upsides of this Shen is that you can ult. Not a good ult. Yeah, is that you can ult while doing objectives. So you can do a very, very good situation where if the team is fighting your laners, you kind of just start doing the objective on the side. And yeah, all of this is not good. All of this is absolutely not what you want to do. Yeah. W came in a little bit too quickly. Viego's inting. Yeah, so here we could have taken 2 Void Grubs in that time, right? And then responded with an ultimate ping Wei back, so Wei can kind of like keep poking out, playing on the edge. You ult him if necessary, otherwise you just get 2 Void Grubs. Now we did kind of engage in Viego's most favorite pastime, which is fighting for no reason. Not the best. At least Viego messed up too. Another thing maybe to note is that one beautiful thing about the Shen build is after you full clear, you will get your what is it called? Cinder Bloom? Balmy Cinder item. And that one, of course, will give you pretty much all the clear that you would ever want. And from that point on, you can kind of, realistically, you can just kind of stay on the map. This is what I've been preferring to do, because the next couple of items don't really give you a lot of combat prowess. So the next item that I'm going to try to curve into and recall on is going to be the Redemption. Redemption allows you to impact fights again off far, and most likely you're going to be using your ultimate pretty much on cooldown, so Redemption allows you a little bit more assistance in the fights. Chen taking another kill here is not too bad, but it is not necessarily the favorite recipient of this, because of course it's not going to give you more damage as a team. It is, however, going to give you a very strong support that can curve in to a mid game, stronger than any other champion. Yeah, you can see here. So we were waiting with that taunt. We were waiting for the Pike to do his thing. Start out the last auto attack, then taunt him so he switches targets. As a collapse here is happening. Yasuo ultimate will not do too much damage, but we find the Viego here with help of the Wei. Gen ultimate coming through as well, and we're starting the dragon here. Chen has very solid objective damage. So once you have Balmy Cinder, you can definitely solo objectives as well. Definitely an upside. So a couple of things that I want to criticize here. I think he could have adhered a little bit more to just jungling. That would have put him a little bit better on tempo. And we could have 2 Void Grubs here. Taking the dragon super early is kind of a coin flip, so this one is much safer of an option. But in lower elos, you can definitely take the objective just like that. If you see the Viego on the top side, just go to the dragon, take it. Level 4, level 5 is fine. You're gonna reset your ultimate a little bit, or delay your ultimate a little bit, which is not optimal, but on the other hand, getting an early dragon is ridiculously good for a lot of things. Really strong mid game. If your team ends up getting ahead, it's very good to close out games. So especially if you have scaling champions on the enemy team, you want to greed for dragons a little bit. You have to remember that Chen, a lot of his damage is early. Okay, Conqueror is stacked here. We gotta be careful. Alright, flashing the Viego ultimate. As Viego will get out of there. Viego not in the best of spots here. I think we just... Yeah, we're ulting onto the Wei here to get him out of that situation. Can walk up to the Talia here, can taunt her. Gotta be careful. Alright, solid taunt. We get the Vayne. I presume that the E was still off cooldown. E cooldown is relatively long. You want to be maxing that second. Q-max, of course, first. And you can see with this HP, you can still clear camps. This is really one of the big strengths of this Shen build. Is it is capable of staying on relatively high HP in the jungle. You don't really lose any HP, which means you can go in there with 1 HP and gen up very quickly. Regeneration is not going to be too useful once you get at the highest. Okay, here, so one really cool mechanic here. He used his Balmy Cinder to still deal damage and then shielded himself, so the little thing attacking, little Krug attacking wouldn't cancel his recall. Pretty good as we get our Ionian boots here ready for ultimate number 2. Actually, never mind, no. Unfortunately not, but we do get them. And the ultimate is coming up soon. Ish. Still gonna be a bit off here. That's okay. We are going to claim at least some Void Grubs for ourselves here. But unfortunately, right now with a trade-off onto the bot lane dive here. Not the best situation to be in. Given the fact that if we had 2 from before and then we take these 2 or these 3 here now, we are in a crazy good spot for our Vayne and for, well, mainly the Vayne. Yeah, we get only 2 here. 2 Void Grubs, better than none. Worse than 5. As the ultimate is coming through here, another teleport into the mid lane as well. Wait. Oh. Kill unfortunately not going over to the way here, which is a bit bad. Okay, very good. We're catching that scanner. That is not a bad situation, as the ultimate here will come through out of the Jhin. Flash out of the scanner and Pike Eing out as well. Kind of concludes that fight. Become your red buff. I am your enemy, not the Jhin. We will take that red buff. Red buff very, very strong on that Hail of Blades Shen. Much more skirmishing power now than before. Generally, I like to ignore the Herald. Herald is not a bad objective by any means, but very often in mid-game I feel like there is much more important stuff to do on something like the Shen than to take that objective. But of course, there are going to be situations, right, where you have... Generally, my rule is Herald gets worth more the better the wave clear on the enemy team. So you kind of look at the enemy champions, you're like, oh, do they have a wave, for example, in the mid lane, right? And we want to take that mid lane tower? And maybe we take Herald here. Similar thing for bot lane and a Sivir, for example. Want to break that tower open. Start putting, for example, your assassin onto the side lane. Then we take the Herald. Otherwise, we do not. As you can see, we're fighting. It is absolute perma fight time. Generally something that Viego excels at. So we get the taunt here, but remember this Viego has a free ultimate here. Okay, the flash forward. You can see the strength here of the Hail of Blades Shen. Beautiful job. Yeah, that red buff. That red buff dealt like 50% of the damage there. It is crazy. I mean, Shen Q, right, not to be underestimated as well. Like, it deals a lot of damage. As, are we able to take this dragon? I think we actually are. Well, Viego will be coming back now. Jhin isn't really moving towards us. Most likely going to be a flip. Yeah, the reveal is here. Viego most likely on the way. And getting hooked back. It is what it is, but yeah, that actually probably wasn't worth it. I mean, it is 2 dragons. 2 dragons are extremely good, but that is a big shutdown to their strongest member, the Kai'Sa. So definitely not too good. Like, didn't share the gold, but still shut down. As yeah, you can see how much weaker the team here is without that Shen being able to ult. Find. Jhin gotta get the hell out of here as the Shen ultimate coming in. And that is unfortunately a bad Shen ultimate, I believe. And too bad. Back to the jungle. Nope, we are still fighting. Alright, can we go back to the jungle? So one really important thing with this build is, since all of your items are extremely cheap, you really want to be getting as much gold as possible. And really want to be hard farming, because it allows you to just kind of overwhelm the enemy team, get like 4 or 5 items very, very early on in comparison. And, you know, these items, they are all specifically engineered to skirmish with them. So you're not going to be strong in a 1v1 later on. Right, early on, Shen very strong in the 1v1. Now is going to be weaker. Eventually, we're also selling that Barmies. It's very important not to build the Sunfire Cape out. Generally, Sunfire Cape not the most efficient item to build. And specifically here, not needed at all. So we're going to see. Herald will be summoned in the mid lane. This mid lane tower is absolutely dead. BREAK Viego can miraculously deal a lot of damage to it. Nope. Not like this. Now tower is just gone. There's going to be a dead Skarner as well. The blue team here is in a good spot. Viego in the top lane fighting Vayne. Not necessarily something that you want to do, but Viego picks it up. That is pretty good. That that kind of puts us in at an awkward situation here. This Viego is trying to accelerate. Definitely trying to solo carry this game. Viego is an extremely scary champion. And can work really well with something like a Kai'Sa. As the ultimate here coming out onto the dive. That will be another tower going down. There's a teleport behind here. We do still have both of our item actives available here. Okay, quickly react. Alright, mid lane fight. It seems fine. We're just going to be taking the Scuttle Crab. Having an eye on things. Again, items are still available. Alright, beautiful bind inside of the tower. It's going to be flash out of the Skarner. Very valuable resource as we continue farming. I think a little bit more focus on farming by the Shen would have been very, very useful. But generally, at this point right here, this is when you're the strongest. Of course, afterwards, you're going to get Moonstones. Also very strong, but not the same level. As, yeah, you can see here, right? A normal top lane Shen would have definitely gotten that kill, but it's going to be a bit harder like this to just take that one. Shutdown gun over to the Vayne as we do get the Viego in the taunt, but Viego ultimate will be buffered and Viego will get himself out of trouble here. Not only that, will actually pick up the kill onto the Vayne as well. It's a bit sad that Shen didn't stay with Vayne there. But it is what it is. We were looking for a different fight here. As we're going to be looking at that red buff. By the way, all the critique here, right? This guy's doing a solid job. He's a good player. Much respect, as we are going for the Knight's Vow here instead of the Redemption. So generally the Redemption will offer you much, much stronger ultimate impact, as you can copy that shield onto an ally. So if multiple people drop low, you can kind of hard carry a fight through that alone. And it's a really good game to play Shen as well. You have two targets that are potentially high value targets to ult, and pretty much everyone can use the Shen shield. Not the cleanest smite, as now we're losing some cooldowns here. As a Viego will get the transformer to Yasuo, drops awfully low though, doesn't get the transform, and the way damage. Beautiful job, by the way. Catching two people out there. Getting another one. Alright, solid job. I don't hate it. As we're gonna go back to clearing camps. This is kind of gonna be the thing where I need to point out that it is a really solid strategy. However, it is going to be much more potent if you can dual queue with your AD carry, or if you have an hyper carry AD carry. Ultimate available here, or hyper carry top, to be honest, right? If you have something like a Fiora, similar things can happen. Be extremely strong. Come. So again, right, the objective damage is not too weak. Generally, you want to be looking to sell your Bamis last. That is going to be a good, like, 600 gold, I think, in sell value that you're going to be up. Nah, it has to be less. Has to be less. It felt like that, but it has to be less. Sorry, I don't have the numbers. I've only played this twice. Oh, that's a very dangerous thing to do here. Oh, we lose redemption already. It's not too good. Not a good redemption value. We are ahead, so it's fine. And again, right, you have your ultimate. You generally want to just power up, farm, get that next item. Go, go, go. Your E, very valuable, but especially into Viego, used aggressively, not nearly as valuable as used defensively here. The teleport coming out. We have a big fight here as we will teleport onto the Vayne. Vayne, unfortunately, not capable of finding anything. Will be kited as the teleport coming out there marks the 5v5. And that is going to be a very dangerous fight here as we have used a lot of cooldowns. The Pike Hook coming through. Wei will stay strong though, or stand strong. And of course, still has a ridiculous amount of damage to dish out. A secondary support here. Should have quite a bit of money in the bank here as well, so might want to move towards the next item here. If we elect that this is really important, we can also sell the Balmy Cinder on recall here, get ourselves the good old Moonstone. And then after that, realistically, yeah, you're going to be fine. See a lot of resources here absorbed by the Viego. And Viego is not going to be as strong as this Shen. Again, I think Shen is probably setting on 1 point something to 2k gold here. So Moonstone is happening very, very soon. The jungle clear is not too terrible anyway. So definitely not, you know, definitely not a champion that can't play, but it has a specific build. Beautiful taunt here as it pulls Viego back. Vayne will be looking for that Viego. That is a big damage source missing in the fights. Yasuo will be taken down here. Wei takes another kill for himself though. Vayne did not get that Viego. Didn't dare. Viego back in base. We're looking at the Baron here. Viego's still available, so it's a bit of a flip. No ultimate available for the Viego yet. And I don't think... no, he does have flash. So that is a bit scary. See if Viego gets out of base quickly enough. Doesn't seem like it. It does. That is unfortunate, yeah. Viego will take that Baron. Not the safest of Barons. That is an absolute fiesta here. As Kai'Sa sitting behind enemy lines here, playing it slow. Ultimate not available for the Kai'Sa anymore, and that is going to be the Shen ultimate to turn that one around. We want to be looking at the Infernal Drake here. Yasuo is pinging it. Everyone is recalling. That is going to be Moonstone Renewer here in Shen's pockets. Nope. Yes. Nope. No. All he bought was a Kindle gem. I am surprised, to say the least. Alright. Redemption coming in, providing a little bit of aid. Double kill going over to Shen. Not really what you want at this point of the game, right? This double kill could have been Wei's Crypt Bloom. Pretty massive item. That's all point available here. In 5 minutes, that is. Or 4 minutes. We'll be opening up the base. Gotta be a bit careful with this inhibitor here. Talia ultimate is available as she comes back, but no. No one's gonna get roped into a fight here, which is solid. Now the enemy team is reassembled though, so we gotta be a bit more careful here. We are very ahead though. This way is an absolute unit. Very, very strong. And yeah, here, game realistically is not about Shen, but Shen can do a lot. Not the best focus here. Yeah, he didn't realize the Kai'Sa going into the backline. I think if he gets that E off of the Jhin, there's some potential to absolutely save this. Redemption available. Yeah, I think there was a chance. You see, also we marked the way instead of anyone else. Fine. Surely here the Moonstone now is available. And then As last item, you can kind of look what you want to get for the Balmy Cinder. I've been thinking about something like the Frozen Heart. I think Frozen Heart seems pretty solid, but the thing is, realistically, you're gonna be like a 3k HP. Frozen Heart Shen is not crazy good, but it of course leans into your strength. And here, yeah. That will be a kill. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of Shen taking that kill here. Taking kills early as Shen, really good. Does accelerate you. But at this point, this stuff can be extremely valuable on champions like the Way. Way realistically looking to get himself a Horizon Focus or something that gives him cooldown reduction here. In order to move with the quickness of the fights, as we have to look into the team fight here. Beautiful Shen shield coming out, and you can see this probably saved the Yasuo. Pyke finds that Yasuo anyhow. This is kind of the downside of this whole build. But since Pyke traded himself for that one, that is completely acceptable. Yasuo for Pyke. Generally, Yasuo at this point not going to provide as much value. 2-item Yasuo here. And all eyes are on this Viego. This Viego is by far the strongest member. Oh, Kai'Sa flying in and proving me wrong once again. Yeah, of course, Kai'Sa, absolute fucking unit. I don't know. I don't know what I was saying, to be fair. Kai'Sa definitely holding strong here. Is kind of disparage for the Shen here. Shen can't really make his team play different in that way, right? So you have to kind of just be disciplined about it and just kind of wait it out, try to get some good taunts, but mainly get the good ultimates. At this point, the Balmy Cinder is being sold. I will be very interested in what the next item is here. There's a lot of options. One thing that we're going Mikhail's. Mikhail's definitely not a bad choice. I was also going the movement speed item, the support movement speed item. I'm not entirely sure what it's called, but Shirelia's. But that is really good on Shen, because people can kite Shen quite well. And that item on something like the Vayne. Woo! God damn! Ain't Kai'Sa running nowhere. So, Shen ultimate already coming out, as the Kai'Sa will be taken down here very, very big. Now it's all eyes on Viego. Viego, of course, is relatively able to deal with Shen taunt, right? He has his ultimate, kind of can deal with it. Is a bit tankier as well with the death stance here. No ultimate available anymore. Vayne taking quite a bit of poke damage here. Gotta be a bit careful with the flash Viego W. Viego doesn't get the transform here. Absolutely solid. And that is going to be the W here for the Shen player. Beautifully fought. You can see he's full build here. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Shen Jungle. Tell me what you thought about it. And, well, thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.